All right, welcome everyone to a very short live stream. I'm only going to be going over, well, exactly what you guys see in the title, setups that you guys should be watching. All right, so the first one that I want to go over quickly is GH. So this is Guardant Health, and this one has been consolidating really well, and it's been making a nice ascending support trend line here, and we've been holding above the 10, 21, and 50 SMAs. And whenever I see the price holding above these three major SMAs for quite some time, that gives me confidence that there are a lot of buyers there, a lot of consolidation, which should mean that this name is in currently a accumulation phase where buyers are constantly buying every single pullback, which is the reason why we've been seeing bounces at these pivot points on this ascending support trend line. So GH here, after kind of reaching a critical level of resistance near supply area around 52 to 53, or I would rather say 51 to 53, we started to kind of move sideways, all right? And then earnings came, and earnings reaction was a little bit negative, and then they just absolutely blasted upward until the entire health sector decided to move back down again. And then today, as you already know, the entire market was green, and every single sector was green. And so GH was one of those beneficiaries of that green movement in the overall markets, and we decided to bounce above the 21 and 10 SMA once more, and instead of just closing right below this major level of resistance around 51.20, we actually blasted right above it and closed at 53. So for this one, I would expect a nice swing to the upside, to possibly 60, which would be our next major level of resistance. As you guys can see here, the $60 level was a huge line in the sand level. That's where we saw that significant amount of selling coming in 2 times here, once right here, and another time right here. Right, so if you're able to clear above 60, we should see a huge and immense amount of buying coming in, because we're squeezing out all the shorters who are in here below 60. Right, so we should see a very, very volatile move up higher, and very big impulsive move higher for a couple of days. Okay, so the next one I want you guys to look at is JKS. Right, so JKS is it's a solar name, and it's an Asian company. And this one here, the reason why I want you guys to look at this is that if you take a look at the weekly time frame, All right, so you guys should already know that the solar sector has been very strong for the last few trading days, and with JKS here, uh, we have a very large supply area here. Okay, in the past when solar was running really big, okay, and this is the area where a lot of sellers are starting to accumulate short positions, and that's the reason why we saw an overall move lower in early 2021 when we had that big move higher in the fourth quarter of 2020. So with JKS here, I just want to see a clear break above 69. Okay, 69 is a major weekly level that we need to see so that we can break above it and completely shove out any sellers that are between 69 and around 77. Okay, we did that already once. Okay, but since this was our first retest of this area between 69 to 77, we had to come back down and then consolidate again once more, and hopefully on this second attempt we can see another run up where we see some good hold with the buyers above the 69 level, and ultimately I want to see a nice run up higher to 77 by next week. Okay, so JKS, really good name, nice momentum today. We had a large breakout on the daily time frame above all the major SMAs, and this one almost moved 10%. So this one you guys should look at it tomorrow for a potential day trade, because if it decides to come back down and kind of have a little tiny pop below the 68 daily level of resistance and possibly hit around 66.80 or around 67 for a nice retest, that could be a good dip buy to continue to move higher to the upside and potentially hit around $70 tomorrow. Okay, so JKS, definitely a name that you need to be watching out for. It should be a great multi-day run, but if you want to have a day trade on it, make sure you guys take a look at this tomorrow and on Friday. Okay, so the third name here is OKTA. All right, so Okta, similar chart pattern to a lot of the other names that we looked at before. We're looking at a nice ascending triangle base, right? And the price has been consolidating for more than 2.5 months, right? So actually, it's been 3 months now, actually. So it's been 3 months, and this one looks really good to move to the upside because, first of all, number one, it's a laggard. Number two, it has been holding relative strength whenever the market went down, right? It decided to make higher highs and higher lows as the market was heading lower. So this one has all the hallmarks of a great breakout, especially as a laggard name. So if we decide to clear 106 tomorrow and eventually 110, we should be able to see a very big short squeeze back into the 120s to 125. Ultimately, I want Okta to retest this 136.80 or 137 level, which was a clear line in the sand level back in mid-April. So this one should be a very big level to watch out for Okta, and this could potentially be a very good long-term swing for the next few weeks for a huge amount of return on Okta. Okay, so this one is a great name to look at. It's a tech laggard. Hey Joel, what's up? All right, so that is our third name that you guys should be looking out for this week or for the rest of this week and into next week. Okay, and the other one I want you guys to look at is UPST. So this one isn't kind of a setup here, but I do like the momentum, right? So after having some dismal earnings, right, I believe UPST had already had preliminary warnings sent out back in on this day, I believe. So I think they sent out that warning after hours on July 7th, and then the stock absolutely tanked after hours, and it revisited the lows here, and it made even more new lows and found support around $23. So this 23 level is a major area of support that we should be starting to move away from eventually, since this name has been beaten down since I think the price of 400. Yeah, so the high of the all-time high for this name was $401.49. So 401.49. It's a long way to go. I don't think it'll ever retest that again in the next few years. But UPST here, this one obviously had a nice valuation pop as well. It was part of that valuation bubble pop that we've seen for the past 2 years, especially as a fresh IPO for the last 2 years. So UPST was also one of those new IPOs that came out back in early or late 2020. So yeah, 2 years. The time frame is correct there for UPST to be considered one of these names, these IPO names that have had valuation pops. But with UPST, what I want to see tomorrow is this continued momentum to the upside. The only thing that's worrying me is that as we are continuing to try to start a new uptrend for UPST, the volume is slowly dying down, right? The buying volume slowly died down, and it was the lowest for this week on a great day like today. So obviously, if you're just going to look at price action, the price is right above the daily 50 SMA and close above the daily 50 SMA. And I love it when I see this, okay? So guys, pay attention right here, right? So whenever I see, okay, 2 retests of the 50 SMA and then rejection, okay? And then the very next day, on the third day, when we come back above to retest the 50 SMA, and when we close above it, that tends to lead, there tends to be a very, very large bullish reaction to the upside. Okay, so tomorrow I want to see a little tiny dip back down below the 50 SMA and an absolute rocket higher to around $38 to $40. Right, so that's my ultimate price target for UPST for the rest of the week. But I would say a more plausible profit target will be around 36. Okay, and 36 was a major level of support in the past as well. Okay, and it was used as a pivot point for sellers and buyers here. So if you guys take a look here, it was a pivot point for sellers, and then a pivot point for buyers here, and then another pivot point for sellers. Okay, so I would expect to see some sun come back in at 36, but that will be my minimum profit target for this week, and my maximum will be around $40. Okay, so that's what I think about UPST, and that's why I think you guys should be looking at UPST for the rest of the week. Okay, but yeah, guys, that's it for the tickers I want you guys to look at. These setups look absolutely juicy for the rest of this week and including next week if these setups don't mount to anything for the rest of the week. But hopefully you guys find those 4 tickers useful for this week and for next week. If you guys want to day trade them, you can. But most of the names I've given you so far for tonight, you can day trade it for the rest of this week, or you can swing trade them into next week. Okay, so yeah, that's it for me tonight, guys. I just want to do a very, very quick live on showing you guys some of these setups that I'm potentially going to be looking at for next week. I'll definitely be looking at it this week as well, since I am in one of those tickers that I've just given you guys. And my CFO Discord members already know which one it is. If you guys are watching this, you guys should know what it is. But yeah, that is it for tonight. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. At 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I apologize for the very, very quick live. I'm only doing it for 15 minutes here, so I usually do over an hour. I apologize about that, but I just want to do a very, very quick live. There's not much to talk about. We have to be very, very reactive in this market. So that's the reason why I was able to turn around the losses that I have when I was net short last night. Right, so I was able to quickly get out at market open and then get into new positions right away as I saw the price hit the levels that I want to see break out, and ultimately that allowed me to completely recover my losses and turn up positive for the day. All right, so I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night and good luck trading tomorrow. Goodbye.